Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Kelly Taylor. Welcome to I Feel Fat Today. Thank you so much for joining us on yet another glorious Friday. What a week. What a week. Excited to get into it. We have a great episode for you today. As always, please go to our YouTube I Feel Fat Today podcast and subscribe, and head on over to Apple Podcasts to rate and review. If you want to send me an email because you want to give me feedback or you want some advice, you can email me at ifeelfattoday@gmail.com. That will be in the show notes of the show as well. Okay, awesome. We're going to get right into it, and we're going to get to the interview because it was super fun. What a week. What a week we have had. So many losses, so many deaths. We lost Pee Wee Herman. That was a weird one. I grew up in a Pee Wee's Playhouse household. My dad had a dummy or doll, a Pee Wee Herman doll. That was legitimately the scariest thing that I came across in my childhood. It was very terrifying. And so I always kind of was a little bit afraid of Pee Wee Herman. But then of course appreciated Pee Wee in my older age. And then we lost Angus Cloud, the person that played Fezco in Euphoria. That was a tough one. I don't know. I don't know why I'm starting off on a damper like this, but I just wanted to acknowledge the weird week. We lost Sinead O'Connor last week. I don't know. Crazy. Okay. So getting into this week's article. Also, I know I look like a greaseball right now. I don't have any makeup on. My hair is undone. So we're going to keep this very, very quick, and we're going to get into the interview. Okay, so for the article that I have this week, it's from this website called Metro, and it's a UK website. So just want to point that out as I get into this. It says the article that we're reading this week is Model Reveals She Wears Padding for Plus Size Photo Shoots. And this came out in December of 2021. A model has shared a shocking but unsurprising secret from the fashion industry. Norwegian model Caroline Bjorlinke, wow, that is a very Norwegian last name, shared on TikTok a video on the short form video app revealing how brands really shoot plus size clothing. Despite wearing a size 38-40, a UK 10-12, she works as a plus size model. As she explains that this means she gets booked for plus size photo shoots, sometimes for brands stocking clothes sizes size 44, which is a UK 16 and up. If you have eyes, you can see that I'm not that size, she says. So how do we fix this? She goes on to explain that for shoots, she would be expected to bring something called padding work, basically a broken down fat suit. You just stuff them in, she says, demonstrating, which makes you look a lot bigger. If that isn't enough, she adds, you just pin everything in the back, she says. So if clothes look really good in the front, they probably look like shit from the back. Why? She says the reason behind this is because brands want their models' faces to look slim and sharp. This doesn't just create unrealistic standards, but impossible standards, she adds. She finishes up by suggesting brands use genuinely plus-size models for their shoots. There are so many gorgeous plus-size women out there. The practice, while depressing, isn't uncommon. Brands have been known to pin clothes and ask models to wear padding to fit into plus-size clothing for years. In 2014, Refinery 29 reported on the practice, which was described as simply a trick of the trade due to its practical function of making sure clothes fit right, just like pins. Back in 2019, ASOS was accused of and subsequently denied using padding on plus-size models on its website. Still, the comments on her expressed disappointment in the industry. The model industry really hates plus size models, said one commentator. Oh, the jawlines make sense now, said another. One woman said this video was a revelation. I just realized how many times I've fallen for this, being ashamed of my double chin. Another said it shows how distant real representation is in the modeling industry. However, some expressed anger towards her for taking the job. Don't take the job if you think it's ethically wrong, one person commented. You're contributing to the issue by taking the job. However, the model explained that the choice isn't always easy. She replied to the commenter, I did a couple of these many years ago when I just got signed with an agency in New York and had a contract obligation, but I refuse to do them now because I think it's ethically wrong and I don't desperately need the money. So I saw that and I wanted to talk about it on the pod because I had heard this. I had heard that Torrid, especially, I know them to be one of these offenders, uses models that are technically not plus size and they put them in these paddings known as fat suits, which is very interesting because I definitely have looked on a website for clothing and have seen like, oh, I wouldn't mind having that body if I had, if I didn't have a double chin or if I had these sharper features. And so when I realized or heard that these clothing brands are likely using a straight size model in a fat suit, I was relieved. I was like, oh, okay. So like that is just an impossible body standard. Like I don't even have to worry about looking like that because that really can't exist if this is the lengths that they're going to sell these clothes. So I thought that was very interesting. I would love to know your thoughts on it. Like, do you care that, instead of plus size models being, hired for these jobs, they're getting more straight size models and putting them in fat suits? Like, do you think that that's ethically ambiguous, ethically an issue? Like, where do you stand on it? I think it's bullshit. I mean, there are what do people talk about all the time? The United States has an obesity problem, an obesity issue. Everyone's fat. Okay, everyone's fat, but there aren't any fat people that you can hire to do this job. Like, come on. And I understand it's like not a lack of inventory. It's an issue of a certain look that wants to be achieved, but like you can achieve it. Like a fat person can have a snatched face. Like, have you heard of contouring? Like, that's literally what contour makeup is for, to snatch your face. So I don't know, crazy. And as far as, being someone that's of the opinion of, then blaming this model as being part of the problem, like models are like on the lowest, like the very bottom of the food chain in the fashion industry. Like, if there is anybody that is seen as disposable, it is a model. And I'm not saying that based on my opinion or saying that's a good thing. I think it's atrocious the way that models are treated. To say, the model here is at fault for taking the job is ridiculous. Obviously, as she stated, when you get to a higher standing or a better standing within the industry, you have the ability to have a little bit more discretion on jobs that you take. But, let's not shoot the messenger. All right. Okay, so that's what I have to talk about at the top of the episode. Not much else going on at the moment, but we have a killer episode. We have a really great guest for this week's episode. He's super funny. I was really excited to talk to him. He has a really cool podcast that just came out this week called What About Rob? Please give a warm welcome to the very funny Robbie Goodwin. Amazing. Hello, Robbie Goodwin getting attacked by Finney. Amazing. I know. So exciting. He's like, finally, some male energy. Yeah, right. He's like,
Uncle Robbie's here, Finney.
Yeah. Daddy Joe doesn't count.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I let him eat whatever he wants. I'll buy him candy.
That's amazing. He's like been a little sick the past few weeks, and so it's nice seeing him with like all this energy.
Yeah. Oh, so he's coming. That's why he's also probably like, yeah, I'm back 100%.
Oh yeah. He's feeling it. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This will be fun.
Yeah, excited.
How's Taylor Swift, by the way?
Oh my God, are you a Swiftie?
Not really, but I appreciate her.
Okay,
you know,
that's a perfectly applicable answer. Taylor Swift was awesome. I saw her out in Denver.
Cool.
And it was an insane show. I was able to go both nights.
Nice.
Because,
oh, wow.
Yeah, somehow my friends were able to get tickets for both nights, like during the general pre-sale.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I know.
So we were in the nosebleeds, but like it was like face value tickets.
Yeah.
We didn't have to pay
That's a pretty penny.
dollars.
Like I saw like the cheap seats were going for like hundreds of dollars or whatever. Yeah.
No, we got each ticket was $130.
Amazing. Wow. Great job.
Yeah. I had nothing to do with it, but I was happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, my cousin went to I think she bought tickets for both nights. She had to sell one of them. But she was so sad to sell them. But she probably made like $500 on the ticket.
Make so much, probably more, honestly.
I think someone told her dad told her to, and she's like, no, I'm refusing to sell these.
No, totally. I know. I was like super against like the reselling of tickets, and then we actually ended up having 2 extra tickets to one of the nights.
Oh, nice.
And put them on StubHub.
And you make a lot of money.
I didn't make any money because it wasn't my deal, but yeah.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. Pretty penny.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like this was a way bigger deal, this tour, than her last one.
Oh, completely.
Do you think it's because of COVID, like coming out of it or something?
I
or
think so.
She's also just bigger?
I think she's so much bigger since COVID because Folklore and Evermore were both put out in 2020.
Oh.
And that converted a lot of people.
Got it. Wow.
Because I used to be a hater.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to be a hater. I used to be like, Taylor Swift sucks. You know, all she does is whine. And then she put out 1989.
Yeah, I like that one too.
And I was like, whoa, okay, this bitch knows what she's doing. And she did that thing that Adele did where like you couldn't get it on streaming services.
Oh,
you
really?
had to buy the album.
Oh, wow.
So I went on iTunes and bought it. And
Nice.
I think that kind of converted me.
You know, that kind of helps when you put money into it. It's like when you pay for a comedy.
Absolutely.
Putting like $5 for a comedy show, I feel like the audiences are better than a free one, even.
I fully agree.
So I think making people buy it in the streaming era is very savvy on her part.
Yeah. So, and then it Folklore was like, oh, this woman's a genius.
Gotcha. Interesting. I didn't realize that because I thought 1989 was the one that made her a big pop star. So
I think, I think it definitely did. But I think her mega stardom has been on the rise since 2020.
That's great. I did not know she blew up that much in COVID, but I mean, obviously, because this is the biggest tour of all time. I think so. And I heard her fans literally caused an earthquake last week.
I know, in Seattle.
That's crazy.
I thought, I literally felt like the stadium, Empire Field, was going to break into 2.
Yeah.
You could feel it swaying.
She might be the most powerful person in America.
I mean,
she has command over all of these.
And literally, she's everyone's like, oh, now she's a billionaire. She sucks. But she just gave away $55 million in bonuses to her team of people, everyone down to the
I saw that. Yeah,
truck
that's great.
Drivers driving around her merch.
Yeah, good for her.
I know. I'm like, hell yeah.
Because that's and it's also that's the only way artists make money is on touring now. I've heard.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
that's cool. Good for her.
Yeah.
Finny.
Yeah, he's really
so funny today.
Milking it.
Oh my
Amazing.
God.
Usually you just you run up, you say hi, and then you're done. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from San Francisco, Bay Area.
Okay, Bay Area. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have a younger sister.
Okay, you're a big brother.
I'm a big brother. That might be also why I appreciate Taylor Swift. She means
maybe.
so much to my sister and my mom, frankly.
Really?
Yeah. My mom was like, why don't you just date Taylor Swift? I'm like, great idea,
just call
Mom.
her. Just give Taylor a call.
I wish I had the confidence my mom has in me.
That's amazing. How much older are you than your sister?
2 years older, 2.5 years.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, my older brother and my brother and I, who's older, he's almost 2 years on the nose older than me.
Oh, cool.
I feel like that's a good age gap.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
I think my mom was very calculated about that.
Oh, okay.
She was like, I want a boy and a girl 2 years apart.
Okay.
And
cool.
she had it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And you only have a brother?
I have an older brother and I have a younger brother, and my younger brother is 6 years younger than me.
Okay, interesting.
Which is much like a young son.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're a lot closer with your older brother, you would say, than your younger brother?
Yeah, I would say once we like got out of the house, then it was like the three of us, like, you know, in a group chat where we can talk about like how crazy our parents are.
Yeah, that's fun.
You know?
Yeah, that's fun.
And like, so I feel like I've always been against only children because it's like you need to give your...
They're always weird, I gotta say.
They're weird and like... You need to give your kid someone to commiserate with because parents are so crazy.
Absolutely.
But now, like, I'm an adult in the 21st century, and I'm like, one kid feels like something I can afford.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing that. Where
I'm noticing a lot of just single kid households, and I have a theory that the reason why we think only children are weird is because parenting has been fucked up because boomers. You know, this is a blanket statement. I'm not saying anything specific about anyone's parents, but I feel like boomers can be a little bit unconventional in their parenting, and I think that that's sometimes why only children can be a little weird.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And I do think you kind of need someone to socialize with growing up. You know, it's kind of like when someone has a dog they don't take to the park. You know, they act kind of weird.
Yeah.
And and only children do socialize, but it's good to have like a brother or a sister, because there are some only children I know that aren't like that, but I also think millennials are gonna. I'm very curious to see how the next generation's gonna turn out, because everything's so weird now. Like there's less way less people are having kids, and like
there's like kids are being raped. I know it's hard to focus.
See, this is why you can only have one.
Yeah, I know.
You know what's funny about having kids? Everyone is having. I have a few friends that are having kids, and they're all like, it's the best thing ever, but they all seem like kind of tired and pissed off all the time.
Oh my God, yeah.
I just went to Pokeworks, and this woman just looked like she was in the middle of Vietnam. Yeah. And her kids seemed relatively well behaved. So I'm like, what the fuck is...
It's just why are someone that needs you all the time. All the time. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think I have the constitution. Like, no. I love a double income, no kids lifestyle.
Oh, that sounds great.
Yeah. It's pretty sick.
I need to like win the lottery and like have a nanny or something if I'm gonna have kids. Yeah. That's like because I'm hearing these stories like, oh yeah, the kids will he sleeps in our room and wakes us up. I'm like, that sounds like my nightmare. I can barely sleep as it is. And not that having kids is bad. I think it's, obviously it's something your biology kicks in and they're cute and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But fuck them. No, I'm kidding. How dare they wake me up? No, I think if you get rich enough, then I think like it's easy. In fact, I was just reading about divorce statistics yesterday for no reason because I'm insane. There's an interesting Forbes article about it. I think like money is weirdly everything, because if you have money, you can like hire a nanny and all that stuff. And so I was reading the professions that with the lowest divorce statistics and the highest divorce statistics, and all the high ones are all kind of like blue collar jobs.
That makes sense.
And all the low, like the people who stay together are all like all very successful people, or priests, and those are the only people that don't do.
Well, I mean,
or the clergy. I guess priests don't fuck.
Well,
are priests all incels?
Adults.
That's crazy.
They're either incels or they're pedophiles, and that's the problem with priests.
Truly, the two genders: incel and pedophile.
Absolutely.
If you're a man, you can go one way.
You're either a man of God.
Yeah, you're a man of God, a Chad of God, an incel, or a pedophile.
Absolutely. Which one are you? Oh, man. That's crazy. I could totally see how high-paying jobs have... There are a few things I'm sure that go into that. One of them being... the bitch will get half if you divorce. And the other thing being, like, sometimes when I feel like I am going to blow my life up, I kind of just needed some alone time. So I'm sure like with money, it's like, okay, I can really quick without even thinking about how much it's going to cost, like plan like a nice weekend away for myself in a nice maybe tropical place and like reset and now not want to kill my husband.
Very true. Very true.
So that's another thing that money can provide.
I think, and also it's just the stress. I think when you don't have a lot of money, it's just that there's a lot more stress involved, and that in a couple, especially when you're sharing finances, I mean, my dad taught me this when I was a kid. He was like, that's like the number one thing is money. That's like the number one stressor for a lot of people. Like
Oh yeah. Money was what my parents stressed about. Absolutely. And I remember like being a teenager, being all like, emo and being like, God, just get a divorce already.
Right.
Like, don't think you're staying together for us. And then all of a sudden the kids are out of the house and I see them getting along so nicely.
Oh, wow.
And like going on trips together. And it's like,
hilarious.
The children were just a strain on your resources.
Oh my God.
It made it difficult for you guys to get along.
It's a strain on, exactly. I mean, good for them for staying together because actually, so my mom remarried. Okay. And once we were out of the house, she was like, I'm out of this marriage also.
Good for her too.
She stayed together. Yeah, exactly. So I think it goes either way sometimes.
Yeah.
Shit, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, so anyway, the moral of the story is the Beatles were wrong. Money can buy you love.
Absolutely.
And love isn't all you need. Double wrong.
100%. I signed, sealed. Absolutely. Okay, so you're from the Bay Area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When did you start doing comedy?
So I started... My first set I ever did was in high school at this place called Rooster Tea Feathers in Sunnyvale. Great club, actually. And I got a great tape out of it.
Nice.
And I was like, I started calling myself a comedian.
I mean, I would too.
And I did improv in high school, so it wasn't like totally like regularly. So it wasn't like a total. But so then I went to college and I told everyone I was a comedian. I brought them to a show and I expected to kill as hard as I did that first time, and I fucking bombed.
Oh gosh.
So I kind of went in and out of doing it in college. I would say like like once a month, because our college had like these shows that I would always do or whatever, and I would go to mics now and then. And I would say like the last year of college, I like hit it really hard.
Got it.
And then I did it, and then since then. So it's kind of a weird answer. I kind of round down and say 10 years, but it's more like 12. I would say 11 or 12.
Okay, yeah. I find it so interesting when there's those that started in college because I was late in life. I was 25.
Oh, nice.
And I still didn't have anything to say. I still don't have anything to say.
Yeah.
So
I don't either, really. Except for this podcast. But yeah, I think. I had that expectation of like, oh, if I start really early, I'll get successful really early, and it's still taking a very long time, everybody.
But there. What do I know? But part of this game is time, and so shout out to you for having the time in. Okay.
Can you tell I just came from therapy, everybody?
Oh, you did? Congrats. That's amazing. I love that. We love therapy here.
Men will literally podcast instead of going to therapy.
Well, I think oh man, I love that you're in therapy.
I kind of blew my lid in therapy today. I felt bad for my therapist after.
You pay her for that.
Yeah.
You have to remember that.
Yeah, and she was so nice. She was nice about it.
Did you yell at her just like in general?
Yeah, because I was kind of spiraling, and she asked like a dumb question. I was like, I don't know. I was like, and I was like, I don't. What do you want me to say to that? I was like that.
Yeah.
It was not. Yeah. It was not my best hour. She was actually really sweet about it, and I apologized. But yeah, it was intense. But because comedy is fucking angst. It's like an angsty thing, and you can kind of get in your head about it.
Absolutely.
So I'm glad I'm in therapy. I'm glad I can kind of. What sucks is I kind of went in not knowing I was that upset, and then as the session went on, I was like, "Oh shit, I'm really upset." Actually,
but now you can get over it.
Yeah,
and that's what I love about it.
Yeah. I think that there is like this weird, it's like post-therapy like malaise though. You know what I mean? It's
it's a fog.
It's a fog. Yeah, so I do feel a little foggy, but hopefully I'm okay. Yeah,
we're good. We got LaCroix.
I'm hydrating. That's all
we're
I need.
Good. Yes, and we got plenty more. So, okay. Really quick before because I have.
Oh, what were you gonna say about therapy though?
So what I was gonna say about therapy, a few things about therapy. One, thanks to me, Joe is in therapy.
Oh, nice.
It is the greatest gift I've ever given him.
Oh, nice.
And
he
won't admit it.
Yeah.
But he's like, every Saturday morning he gets done with it and he just does this like sigh of like unconscious relief. And I'm like, did it for you again.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you're not paying for it. But I'm like, but still, I gave it to you. Without me, you wouldn't be in therapy.
It's so empty without me.
Literally.
Yeah, Joe could use it, so I'm glad he's in it too.
Because like he walks around with his disposition as if like I'm fine, I got everything figured
For
out.
sure,
All I need is to smoke a bowl and I'm good. And it's like, oh honey, you have a dark passenger about you.
Yeah.
And I think I am of the belief that everybody has a spot on the couch. Everybody needs some therapy because
I agree.
Right?
Maybe I'm just so neurotic and self-centered that I can't think of anyone who can be well adjusted, but I weirdly, like, I think my dad could use therapy. I think my mom could use there's a lot of, almost no one in my life I'm like, oh, you couldn't use it. You know what I mean?
I just feel like life is so hard. Even if you have the best life, you're still so in your head. Like, I could have all the money, I could have all the shit that I want, and still feel like I don't belong there, and still feel like have X, Y, and Z all going on in my head, and like I need a therapist to be like setting me straight.
Absolutely. I think it's good to vent, because otherwise the people who, like, I think a lot of especially our parents' generation, and particularly men, will like kind of like, I even still do this in therapy. So, but it's like, they kind of hold on to stuff and bottle stuff up, and then it like comes out in like anger or rage or whatever. And it's just like, you could really use some therapy to vent. You could really use like maybe an hour a day to vent,
Yeah.
But I think a lot of guys, a lot of reason guys don't do it is because there's like a stigma where it's like, I'm weak if I vent, or, there's an hour where I might cry or something. Right. So you kind of just ignore it, and then you bottle up, and then you take it out on the people around you.
Yeah, and you're just like generally not nice to be around.
Me personally, I just spiral when I'm not in therapy, I think.
Right.
I spiral when I'm in therapy, but it's like, it's so much worse when I have to like deal with my problems on my own, for sure. My head's hard enough. Everything's hard enough doing comedy, especially. Like, therapy is good. Have you had the same therapist? No, I've had to switch around, not because I dislike them, but I've just had a bunch of insurance. Once again, I would love to win the lottery and like pay for like a $400 a week therapist or whatever. No, absolutely. But it's just been a pain to find therapists that take my insurance. Have you had both male and female therapists? Mm-hmm, yeah. Okay, what do you like better? Female. Okay, so here's my thing. I think guys can see either men or women therapists. Mm-hmm. I kind of prefer men seeing women therapists. I don't know why. And for women, this is my own thing I have to get over, but I think women should only see women therapists. Like, there's something about like a male therapist for a woman that like, I've never experienced it, so I'm completely talking out of my ass. But it feels weird to me. I think... I'm sure there's really good male therapists. There's that one therapist that like every comedian sees, I guess. Oh, yeah. Alan or whatever his name is. It's funny that I know this therapist's name. I've heard of this therapist. Which is strange. It's like, I shouldn't know who Bobby Kelly's therapist is. It's like the lore. So the distinction I made is male therapists are pretty good at giving advice, but women therapists are really good at emotional intelligence and like kind of being able to navigate that. And I think the emotional intelligence aspect is more valuable in therapy because it's kind of like better, because it's like about your, like, if I want to, I appreciate both, but I've just found it to be more helpful when I feel less judged too with women therapists. I will say, absolutely. I think every male therapist I've had has a little dad element of like, well, you got to get your life together. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, well, that's not helpful. I'm already hard enough on myself. I'm not trying to prove anything to you, dude. Yeah. Absolutely. I remember because I was like, I remember when I was done with male therapists. I was done with male therapists, but I think I had a female therapist, and I went back to a male therapist. And I was really anxious about turning 30. And I was like, I don't feel like I've accomplished enough yet. And he's like, yeah, that's a big age. And I don't think, he was like making me feel worse about it. And I was like, well, fuck you, dude. Yeah, this is not what I came here for. I came here to get some relief from my anxiety. Yeah, and like, I know that 30 is a big age. Like, you don't need to tell me that. Yeah, all right. I don't need second dad in my ear. All right. Yeah. How old are you now? 32. 32. Awesome. When's your birthday? May 31st, so it's pretty recently. Oh, okay. You just turned 32. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay, so I have only ever known you as a skinny person. Okay. And then you posted a photo on the internet, and I was like, oh my God, Robbie used to be a fat kid. Oh, yeah. Okay, so were you always a fat kid? Yes, I was pretty damn fat until junior year of college. Junior of college. Yeah. Okay, so I was gonna ask, was it something that like you grew out of, or you had to diet? So I had to diet. Yeah, I didn't exercise. I started exercising my senior of high school, but I didn't know you can't outrun a bad diet. The biggest problem was just being in my mom's house or both my parents' house. They just had food around everywhere.
Okay.
And I'm an anxious eater or a bored eater, so when I'm just around the house, I just eat everything.
Okay.
So I still can't really have food in the house. And when I went to college, one, I was motivated by trying to get laid. That was like a big thing. I was like, okay, everyone here. I went to like a hipstery school, Emerson, and so everyone was skinny.
Okay. Especially in like the 2010s, it was like very
so chic.
Manorexia was a thing.
Yeah, it was like that hipster, like an Adam Driver kind of guy was like Girls was taken everywhere. Absolutely. She was right before Girls, but that was the vibe over there. The guy from Fun. I'm trying to that
absolutely
that era of and I think I just didn't. I knew I was fat because I was almost like 300 pounds at the time, and I just decided to I just felt like I need to lose this weight, and so it took a couple years. I was like 280 when my freshman year of college, and then I got down to 220 my sophomore year, and then I was like 180 my junior year.
Oh, okay.
So, but then I gained it back because I turned 21 and started drinking a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But then I defatted again by the summer in between my junior and senior year.
Okay, so you had a little bit of like a yo-yo.
A little bit, and then I was like pretty skinny in LA for a long time, and then I was pretty skinny, and then over the past year or so I've gained like 20 pounds back, but I'm working on like losing it again, which is good.
It's not noticeable.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Honestly.
Great. I wasn't fishing. That's why I grew the beard, though.
No, I didn't think you were.
But yeah, so I've actually been like really heavy into weight loss lately. Just I've actually just lost like 8 pounds or something.
Oh, solid.
Over the past couple months. Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Awesome. So do you maintain? Well, you said you're more into weight loss. So what kind of diet are you maintaining now?
Oh man, so it's very hard for me actually. Like, it's really hard to be disciplined about cooking, but when I cook, I lose a lot more weight.
Absolutely.
Or I'm a lot more when I cook for myself.
Yeah.
So I started going. I got broken up with, and I started manically going to Trader Joe's and cooking for myself.
Don't tell me twice. Yeah. I've been there. Hell yeah.
I got an air fryer too. I love the air fryer. That's the best single man thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's the greatest single man cooking invention of all time. And I got really into the air fryer, but I wasn't always cooking. In college, when I first lost the weight, I actually went to like Panda Express and Panera Bread, but just got no carbs. I was like, I don't want to sacrifice going out to like fast foodie places, but I just got like, I remember Panera Bread, I would get like the soup and the salad, which filled me up. And then Panda Express, like if you just stick to like they have like the Walk Smart things. And if you do that with green, you don't get the chow mein or the rice. You can keep your calories pretty low and still it still fills you up. I don't know if the calories are accurate, but that's how I lost the weight in the first place when I was my junior year.
Okay, so you mentioned that you're like an anxious eater, an emotional eater. So for you, like going to like a Panda Express and not getting what you would want, let's say like rice or the noodles, which is like that's the good shit.
That's the good shit. I know.
Yeah. So like,
I know.
Is it like frustrating, or is it just like, well, at least I'm still having Panda Express?
It's actually a lot like how my sober friends talk about quitting alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Like it stinks for like 3 months, but then once you set the habit, then you just kind of get into it. And you know what? For me, it's not necessarily what I'm eating; it's just volume. So as long as I can eat a lot, I can because I can eat I can house great. Like what's great about like greens and vegetables and fruit like mango and shit, like I honestly could eat anything. I can literally eat anything and be happy, but it's just like I have to eat whatever I'm eating, I have to eat a lot of it. That's really it.
Yeah, I get that.
So that's like the Panda Express thing, or I hate to keep saying Panda Express. I didn't go there like every day. But that was just like my first example off the top of my head. Chipotle's a great example.
Yeah.
If you just get the salad, double meat, I did that a lot, guacamole.
I know, but the rice is so good.
I know. I'm with you.
That rice is so fucking
I'm
good.
with you.
What do they put in it?
It must be like I think
must
they just
be butter.
Yes, I think that's exactly what they put in it.
It must be
I think
butter.
that's literally exactly what they do.
And it attacks me afterwards. So yeah, it's probably.
I talked to a chef And I was like, and he's like, the secret to any good food is just oil. Like no matter what restaurant you go to, it's just a shitload of oil.
Well, that's the other thing that you mentioned. Like you said, like I noticed when I cook more for myself, I like lose weight. And because when you go out to eat, like they're putting shit in there that like you don't have the ability to take out.
100%. And that's just such a big part of it. And if I'm feeling too lazy to do that, you know, and you know, I have a little bit of extra cash or something, I go for one of those like those meal plan boxes. That's been the last.
Oh, nice.
I've done that just like the last, I would say 3 or 4 years, but those are pretty good too.
I feel like those meal plan boxes are marketed to everybody, but I feel like they would make more money if they just marketed to dudes.
Yeah, okay.
Dudes are the only people that I know that would be like, if you just got put on that subscription box for like the rest of your life, you'd be like, oh, I'm always full. I always got food. I'm good. Whereas like women, I feel like we like are so much more emotional. That it's like, well, I don't want this chicken Alfredo from Fresh Direct or whatever.
Right.
Like I feel like women would have more of that food go to waste, whereas men are just like, okay, this is what I'm eating.
This is here. This is what I have.
Yeah.
I think that's probably. I mean, I think it's probably a lot of guys. I mean, because you're right. Because a lot of the meal plans are very male, like advertised to. I think
they should be.
Do you know why? Because it's like I think dudes buy it because like bodybuilders do it. So it's like I'm not dieting. I'm like a bodybuilder.
I'm bulking.
I'm a wrestler. Actually, it's crazy.
Absolutely. Amazing. Okay, cool. So you wouldn't like categorize yourself as having like a specific diet, but you're just like smarter.
You know, I did keto for like probably a year, 3 months to a year in LA, and that was the skinniest I ever got. But
LA, it's easy.
Yeah, I agree.
Be healthy. And I've never lived there. Every time I vacation there, I come back like this is my life now. Like I'm just healthy, and then I get back to New York, and it's like, you know,
it's because here's why. Because in New York, because in LA, you're right. It's easy to eat healthy because they have really good actually salad places.
So many good salad
Like the salads are good there. Like I don't feel like I'm depriving myself. Mendocino Farms, great spot.
Nice.
Tender Greens is solid too. Here, there's not. It's
Sweet Green.
Yeah, Sweet Green. Yeah, it's like.
And I'm always full 30 minutes after I have a sweet. No, I'm always hungry 30 minutes after a Sweet Green.
And here
salad.
you're just tempted by carbs nonstop.
Pizza.
You walk down the street, you see 3 pizza places, like a great sandwich place, a fucking taco truck.
Yeah.
You know.
When I discovered the chopped cheese.
Oh, yeah.
From a bodega.
It's the best.
I was like, wow. Yeah. I wish I never heard of this.
Bacon, egg, and cheese is awesome, too.
Oh, yeah. And I'm from Jersey. We got pork roll there. I mean,
I think the best New York thing is the bagel, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
I think like that's something, because you can get good pizza in California, but you can't get a great... You can't get a great bagel. I mean, I love pizza. It's just. I think it's actually more interesting. It's just, you know, it's a little cliche to say it's the best New York thing. Bagel is unsung, weirdly.
Yeah, no, because like I could go anywhere and like, oh, it's a pizza place and have like a passable slice of pizza, but when like every bagel that's not from New York, New Jersey might as well be a Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
Dry, cardboardy.
That's why Larry King has that fucking. I guess he's dead now, but he has a restaurant in L.A. called like the Brooklyn Bagel Factory, where they like import the water.
Oh shit!
From like the Atlantic Ocean or whatever, and try to make bagels from it. It doesn't work. It still doesn't taste the same, but it's very funny he did that.
I definitely know of some pizza restaurants that I don't know specifically, but anytime I catch like the Barstool One Bite pizza reviews, I remember seeing this one place where the pizza was pretty good, and the guy came out and was saying like, "Oh, we got the water from New York." You know?
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if that's just like a gimmicky thing.
I think it's a gimmick. I mean, how much is the water? I don't know.
I
guess that's the only thing that's different. So I don't know.
I guess I don't know.
Maybe I don't know.
So, do you worry about gaining weight, or it doesn't?
Constantly.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I just weighed myself yesterday, and I was like, "Fuck," you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sucks because I really do fluctuate. Like, I really, I mean, you know, I don't always like, you know, when I was in a relationship, I kind of like I wasn't like that crazy. I wasn't like that crazy into it. Lately, I have just because I've been like more on an effort to get like more healthy and stuff.
Yeah.
But so I like try to weigh myself like once a week, I would say. But what sucks is like my body fluctuates so much. Like last week I weighed 3 pounds heavier than this week, which is a lot. Like 3 pounds is a lot.
But it could be water. It could be muscle.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much that goes into it.
I know. I have this app and it really doesn't provide me that many answers. It's just like, you know. But yeah, all I can do is just keep weighing. I mean, I think I've realized if I keep weighing myself, I'm more accountable to myself, or at least I'm more like, because I notice that when I'm letting myself go is when I'm just not, when I'm just ignoring it and like not weighing myself. And then because I think it's because I know I'm eating a lot. I'm afraid to see what's the real weight is. But then that makes it worse because you just compound the problem.
Yeah. You know? No, absolutely. But I am like such like I'm an ostrich where I'll just like throw my head in the sand. Like for everything. Taxes, like so much
I'm
shit.
the same way. I just ignore it.
And then all of a sudden I get this like anxiety in my chest and I like pop my head back up and I'm like, oh shit. All right, I'm going to do this right now. And I bang it out in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, if only, and like that's what's I'm finding so hard with like diets and just, you know, trying to be healthy is that you can't do that. Consistency is so a part of it.
It's so true. Setting good habits, all that stuff. And I'm with you. I think, you know, it's like, yeah, you really need to set good habits every day.
Are you a self-help book reader?
I go in and out, but I just listened to one actually 3 weeks ago.
You are.
Yeah.
You are. What self-help book did you listen to?
I just listened to The Mountain Is You, How to Defeat Self-Sabotage and Turn Into Self-Mastery.
How was it?
It was actually pretty good. It was only like 5 hours, so it was just like listening to 5 podcasts. That was good. Yeah. I think I just downloaded another one, I think. Let me see what I forget because I like it. I mean, honestly, like you've caught me in like a self-improvement thing just because I'm fresh from this breakup, fresh-ish. Okay. So yeah, it's always like a woman that or the idea of the idea of women that like
kind of
gets me to like get my shit together a little bit.
I mean, because that's the thing. Like when you're in a relationship, it's just like. We're partying, man.
Right, exactly. You're like, my problems are all solved. I literally did it. I climbed to the mountain.
Yeah.
Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Heard that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone online said that's the one.
Okay. There's so many.
There's way too many.
There's so many.
That's why you have to do audiobooks. I'm like, I really just I think I'm also an Audible because I listen to so many podcasts too, and that's how I know so much about like the comedy scene and stuff. Is like I think I'm like an audio but it's funny. I try to listen to people sometimes and I forget stuff. I listen to a podcast, I remember everything.
I know. But I know what you're getting at. I feel dumb, but I need to listen to the book and I need to read it. Like, I need to be double teamed by the information to get it.
For sure. Yeah.
Like or it doesn't stick. It doesn't fucking stick.
When I read, sometimes when I read it just goes one ear out the other because I think my mind wanders.
Oh, absolutely. I'm thinking about so much other shit.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden I come back here and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I just read.
That's like, I honestly I feel like sometimes when I reread a book, I'm like, oh shit, I feel like I'm reading this for the first time.
Yeah.
I forgot all this fucking shit.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's the other thing. There's not enough time. This is why I wish I could live forever because there's just not enough time to like read every book that I want to and then read it again so like I actually retain the information.
Totally.
You know?
Totally. Okay. So do you think that your weight, like being heavy at a young age, do you think that forced you to be funny?
I wonder that. I do. But I think I would have been funny either way.
Because you were always a performer, it sounds like.
Yeah. No, I was like in plays when I was a kid and, I was like the standout. According to my mom, I don't remember it really. She's like, you're like a little celebrity. And I was like, and she was like, anyway.
So mom's a fan.
My mom's a big fan. Oh, yeah. She's... But I think she liked that material better when I was a kid doing plays than what I talk about now.
Yeah.
No, but she's a big fan. I mean, I think I was always quick and fun and pretty funny, but I think the fatness did help. You know.
Now, did you come from a fat family? Was mom, dad, and sister fat?
No, they're all skinny.
Okay,
so I stood out.
Yeah.
But I think I didn't know that I was that fat until like middle school.
Right.
And that I think is when I had to get funny. I would say. I don't think I was that funny until 6th grade. Yeah, because it's actually, I think when I went to I started going to public school. I went to like a private elementary, and then I moved to public school in 6th grade. And then I think I had to get funnier or something.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, because I'm a private school kid,
right?
And it's like smaller situations.
Yeah.
Like your classes were probably smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the classes were always super small, and so like when you go from that into a public school, which I didn't get that experience until college.
Right.
I was like, oh fuck, this is a different ball game.
Yeah.
So as a middle schooler,
you got to develop some skills.
Yeah. Time to,
because people have options. You got to stand out.
Develop a personality.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is scary.
But you know what? I will say, I actually remember I did a class presentation in 4th or 5th grade, and I just crushed with it. And like laughter-wise, it was like a PowerPoint where I just did stupid voices and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think people didn't expect it because I think I was probably pretty serious outside of that one presentation. But I think in middle school, I learned how to be funny socially or something.
Oh, okay.
Although I also don't. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
LaCroix's coming back.
No, you're fine. You're
fine. I also that whole time my life is so fuzzy, especially at this point. I've done.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I've killed too many brain cells.
That's another thing I talk about in therapy. I'm like, I don't remember.
Yeah, anything. I know.
I like remember some high school. I remember most of high school, but like middle school, elementary school, I mean, I have some like, big moments that I remember. Same. But outside of that, I'm like, I don't remember how I was.
Yeah, I think I used to be smarter too. I think I'm just killing my brain cells left and right here.
I mean, I think it's like New York is such a tough city to live in that like I can't think about expanding my mind. I'm like worried about rent.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, maybe if I lived in the suburbs and just there was nothing to do, I just think about middle school all the time.
I mean, I think that's kind of the deal.
You know what? That is. I think there's something to that because I go back to my hometown and someone I got like lunch with some people from my hometown. That, do you remember when you cheated in 7th grade? I'm like, no. How do you remember that?
That's so funny. Yeah, no, totally. And so like when did you start doing plays?
So I did a play. I would say 1st grade, 2nd grade.
Okay. So like that's like the kind of age where like you don't know to be insecure or embarrassed yet.
No, yeah, I crushed it. I was so confident.
Hell yeah.
But then I didn't do it until junior high school, I think.
Okay.
And then I did it and I had such a good time. Then I joined like the improv team and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. And so like when you lost weight, did you have a confidence about you on stage that wasn't there?
No, I kind of feel like I still kind of carry like that fat guy or fat kid, like, kind of like not that confident. Although I'm pretty confident on stage. Off stage, I think I am a little bit more nebbishy, weirdly. But I would say when I got skinnier, I kind of thought I was a little. I actually thought I was a little funnier. I was a little more confident in my comedy.
That would make sense.
Weirdly, yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. Like when you have been a fat kid, when you have been a fat person into adulthood and like up to 2021, like that's more than you've been alive.
Yeah, still, yeah.
You know? And I think more specifically a fat kid.
Yeah.
You're kind of always a fat kid, which is where therapy comes in.
Yeah. I know. I should talk. I'm already. I need to like meet with her every day. I need to. This is too much to unravel.
Just do the podcast every day. Well, it's free.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes I'll be in therapy and I'd be like, I can't believe I talk about comedy again. I have like so many other things.
I don't talk about comedy
to unwind.
I don't talk about therapy.
It kind of just comes back to it every time. Where I'm like, well, this guy was such a dick to me.
Yeah. That's true. That's true.
So yeah, but then I'm like, damn, I like so many other things that I could have and should have talked about.
Just you probably already do this, but make a note on your phone and write it down.
Yeah.
I literally go into therapy every Friday.
That's
and I'm
smart.
like, all right, I got to open up my note because I like, if I sit down in the therapy chair in a good mood, I got no problem.
Yeah.
I'm like, life is great. My bills are paid. I'm chilling.
Yeah.
And if I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, I'm not even gonna be able to afford this city in another month.
Oh.
Like I'm like crazy.
Yeah,
totally. It's all based on my fucking mood.
Yeah. When my life was a little better, I think I remember like, I had sessions where I was kind of like reaching, even though I have a lot of stuff going on, but I was just like, I don't know. Like,
this fight was a little weird.
Exactly.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like kind of watching the clock a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is a waste of time and money.
Such a waste of money.
So I need to get my I think notes are a very good idea, and I have the time. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Absolutely. Okay, so the what was I going to ask you about? There's something about you mentioned how like when you're happy in a relationship, your problems kind of go away.
Yeah.
And I know that that's a sentiment that many people have had and shared.
Yeah.
I think that there is something to there's a fatness correlation there for me because it's like I feel like when I was a kid and I was fat, the idea of a relationship was so far out of my brain.
Me too.
It was so inaccessible to me, and it was all I wanted.
Yeah.
I was so boy crazy.
Yeah,
because I just was like, there's got to be someone out there that wants me.
Right.
And like when I look back at prior relationships, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I really put all my eggs in their basket because I was just like, oh, I got what I needed. Like now all these other problems, like I didn't work as hard in my, jobs that I had. I just was like so tunnel vision.
It's a total fat kid thing, I think, because I think you're just so much more desperate, and it's harder to come by. I didn't kiss a girl till college, Yeah. And and you know what's funny?
Going into college, I kissed someone.
And you know what? I'm really back there now because it does feel like once you're kind of back at square one, too, and single, it's like, fuck, I forgot even how to get into I forgot how I even got into one in the first place,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, but I know you to be a little player. You're gonna be just fine. a few more green meals from Panda Express or whatever the fuck. You'll be right back in there, dude.
We'll be back.
Amazing. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of a departure. You're a pop culture guy.
Yeah.
You are. And another thing we have in common that I've always appreciated about you is you are a fan. You like being a fan.
Yeah.
And I am the same way.
Thank God, yeah.
In high school, I was known as MCR girl because my favorite band was My Chemical Romance.
I loved MCR too in high school.
Yes.
They were great.
And I had to make sure everybody fucking knew it.
Sometimes I got a little drunk and still put on the singles.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's my favorite thing.
I loved Black Parade. I was just so into Black Parade when I was like a junior.
Oh yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was fun.
Everything like very cool. And I also like that, like, you can go on Robbie's Instagram and see all of this, but like when you're into a show, you get like a T-shirt related to the show, so very much a fan.
Because you know what? It's because I don't like a lot of stuff. So when I do like something, I'm like that's fucking great.
I also I don't want to say like, oh, I have a hard time connecting with people, but when I know that someone that I kind of know is into the same thing as me, I'm like, oh, we got something to talk about.
Yeah,
now.
we have, exactly. Yeah, totally.
Like, I love being a part of a fan group.
100%. And you ever meet these people like, I don't really watch movies. Like, or the worst one is I don't listen to music. I'm like, you're a freak.
I know. I know. It's just like, what is going on in your head? Like, I'm always having to battle, like, okay, is this a music moment or is this a podcast moment?
Right.
Because God forbid there's silence.
100%.
I'd rather die.
Yeah, me too.
There'll be silence when I'm dead.
Oh my God, I'm just constantly have earbuds in.
Always.
And when they die, I'm like, all right, panic attack time.
Literally, the thoughts are gonna creep in.
So I definitely do fanboy out, and I've actually heard that's like people told me to like not do that.
Oh, screw them.
Because I'm a comedy fan, so when there is a comedian that I really like or think is funny, I'll default to fanboying out. But
that's true. Okay.
So
yeah, because we do see a lot of comics like
exactly
in person where it's like, oh my God, I listened to you on that podcast.
Exactly.
Blah, blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. But
I was like that with Mark Norman, like the first like 5. Probably I would still do that, but for a while when I was first meeting him,
right?
Because I used to do Shtick or Treat, and I'd be like, Mark Norman, oh my God, and I'd be like,
I know,
you're so funny,
and he's accessible.
Yeah, he's very he's
accessible, and that's the problem with Mark because it's just like you don't know because in his head he's like, I'm just a comic. He doesn't realize that like there are people that will fly from far and wide to see you perform. And like, who are we, these humble peasants that get to like podcast with you? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And what's funny is he's a fan of comedy too. So he's he's actually, I think there's comics that it's worse to be like that with because they have like bigger egos, I think.
Yeah,
and they're like, I am the fucking shit. You're right. And then they're like, I'm actually now better than you.
Yeah.
And at least I don't think with Mark you lose any points. So that's why I use that as an example.
Totally,
but like,
totally.
There's definitely other comics where I've done that. And it's like, oh, our relationship is ruined now because now you see me as below you. And that's like, that's something to work on,
So what degree do you fan out to what would be a comedy peer?
You know what? It's funny. There's sometimes, so like, I'll just be like, hey man, that was a great joke. You're really funny. Like, and I'll even do this to comics that I'm not even necessarily a fan of. Yeah, I'm just trying to be a nice guy. Or, I'll be a fan of a joke. I'm not like going to go listen to your podcast to be a fan, but I think I default a little to like, you're awesome, or whatever,
I don't think that's a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people that tell you that's a bad thing are trying to be too cool.
Yeah.
Because like when you say fanboy, I'm picturing like, bated breath, can't really like contain yourself.
Oh no, I don't get that way around too many comedians anymore.
Yeah,
I think I used to when I started, but now I'm a lot more jaded.
Which like makes sense.
But I think a lot of comics are looking for any reason to make themselves feel big and you feel small.
Yeah.
Especially certain comedy clubs have like hangs that are like very like too cool for school. Let me look past your eyes and see what shows you book. Okay, nothing. Let me move to the next.
Oh yeah.
And everyone's very calculated, and it's like, and it's not like that everywhere, but there will be situations like that, and then you fanboy on one person, and suddenly you're toast, and they see you as less than. That's why I avoid those hangs for the most part.
Absolutely.
Because I will say this about that, the whole fanboy thing. That's just who I am. That's me, and I can't help it. So. I mean, luckily I have gotten more jaded or whatever, and more confident in my own comedy, I would say too. So, I'm definitely like, when it comes to like movies and TV, I have no qualms about like posting about Succession every 2 seconds or The Sopranos all the time or, and if I like a movie, I'll post about, because I still love movies. I'm total fanboy for movies and, TV too, but like movies, I really do love. So, like when a Tarantino thing comes out, I have like no qualms about like talking about that all the time or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of movies, have you seen Barbie yet?
I did.
Did you like it?
I really liked it a lot.
Good.
I thought it was really, really funny.
Yeah. I did not. I went in there so blind and did not expect to laugh as much as I did.
Yeah, I got my expectations lowered, and then I saw it and I laughed like a lot.
Yeah.
Like I didn't expect to laugh that much.
Absolutely. Okay, awesome. Did you see Oppenheimer?
No, I didn't. It's so off-brand for me to see Barbie before.
Yeah.
Well, I keep trying to see Oppenheimer, but it's somehow more sold out because there's less showings.
Yes.
And I'm also like autistically waiting to like see it in like IMAX or 70
No, that makes sense.
millimeter, and those they just been so sold out unless I go on like at like 10 a.m., which maybe I'll just have to do that or something.
Yeah. Oppenheimer does feel like reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Barbie was such a more like, I can just relax
it's
and watch this.
Yeah.
Whereas like Oppenheimer, I'm like, I gotta fucking pay attention.
It's like a good movie, but Barbie's a fun movie,
Absolutely.
right? That's what I've been. That seems to be the consensus.
I'm excited for Oppenheimer to be on streaming and I can put on subtitles and then actually know what was happening.
Nice.
Because
Yeah.
I need subtitles.
I'm excited to see it. It looks great to me. I'll be honest. Yeah. It seems like kind of heavy and I've heard it's a little slow, but I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
But Barbie was great. Gosling was just killer in it. The song was fucking
everything was so
hilarious.
great.
I loved. I realized the best character was Barbie World. No, this is not. But I mean, I feel like the world does a lot of heavy lifting. It's just like kind of such a fun, unique, world that you spend time in when you watch the movie.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about. It was done really well in that, like, obviously the messaging is heavy-handed.
Yeah.
It's camp, so it has to
It's
be.
like, who's getting their politics from the Barbie movie?
I know.
That's why it's so, like, it's stupid. Like, Ben Shapiro's like, actually, here's why it doesn't check out. It's like
okay.
You're such a nerd. These people just like...
nerd.
It's like, I don't think anyone is getting anything from... I mean, maybe they are, and maybe that's... And even if you are, that's fine.
Right.
But it's like, don't... I don't know. Just don't take it. I don't think it's meant to be taken super seriously.
Oh no!
The whole movie is kind of a...
No, you're good. I unplugged the recorder, but we still got the video.
Okay, right. Yeah, there's like this bench. He like debated some like girl, like this 21-year-old girl in like the movie. He's like, well, the Ken song's not good. Sing it right now. Can you sing it? And she's like, I don't know. Like, I'm Ken, da-da-da-da-da. And he was just like, so you don't even remember it, so therefore it's not good. It's like, I don't think I remember. I listened to it a few more times and now I know the song, but I remember enjoying the song when I was watching it.
Yeah.
And just because you don't remember it immediately, I don't know.
Right.
It's funny because I know he's like clickbaiting and whatever, but it's still it's just absurd. Ben, you look like a fool.
Yeah, no, it's I saw him saying that like the movie ruined his day or whatever.
Yeah.
And what I find so funny about that is the fact that the Barbie world in of itself literally is like if you were a doll.
Right.
Like if you as a human were shrunk down to be a Barbie doll and then all of a sudden you were like in the playhouse that like, you know, you or your sister or whatever had as a kid. And so to think that there is a weird feminist agenda happening from that is just so bizarre to me.
And it's also like, they were trying to make points, but they were doing it with a lot of humor. So I appreciate that. It's like, I don't have to agree with every joke necessarily, but it's like, it's still funny. Like, it's like Ken learning who men are in history was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Even if so, yeah, that's just like, you know, I'll just say like, you know, just dudes, just don't think about it too hard. Just enjoy it and have fun and laugh, you know. Which I think
don't think too hard.
Most people are doing. Most people show up to that movie drunk anyway. Yes. So it's like, what?
We first you go to Barbie brunch.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you cross the picket line and go see Barbie.
So that helped. I was like 3 whiskey sodas in, and I was like, wow, I'm on Barbie. Let's go Barbie. Yeah, I thought it's actually a lot funnier than I was expecting.
Awesome. Okay, cool. What was the last concert you went to?
I just saw Rick Ross and Clips on the rooftop of Pier 17.
Amazing.
$10 tickets. It was fucking sick.
$10 tickets.
Yeah, because Amazon was filming it for a live stream TV show thing,
fucking awesome.
But it was like a great concert because Clips is like a legendary band, Pusha T, or rap duo or whatever, and I was like, I never thought I'd ever see them in my lifetime. Yeah. And then Rick Ross was out there just doing every hit, and that was fucking great.
Well, that's fucking sick.
Which was very funny because Pusha T's the guy who exposed Drake for having a kid. Mm-hmm. He did that song, but then Rick Ross has a ton of songs with Drake, and he did like all of them. So it was a very funny double bill.
That's amazing. Okay, cool. What was your favorite music as a teenager?
I am so eclectic. I really liked. I mean, Kanye was like my favorite, and but I really liked U2 when I was a kid. I don't listen to them that much anymore, but I really like them.
That's so funny.
I listen to My Chemical Romance a lot. I love Tenacious D, Back to the Fat Kid thing. Jack Black, the hero for fat boys.
Yes, the king of fat boys.
I loved like comedy. I love Lonely Island too, and but yeah, I had a lot of taste. And then I got like really hipstery. I would say junior or senior year. Like I would like read Pitchfork and just like download anything Pitchfork said was good.
Absolutely, which is like, you know, like a crow singing behind like a harp or something. Like Pitchfork always has like the weirdest shit.
It's funny. Isn't that weird that was like the last straw for like that would never happen now. Like one blog says something is good.
I know,
and everyone's like, wow, we gotta listen to that. Then,
yeah,
you know?
no, you people now go on TikTok and see the discourse about it on there.
TikTok in your own like little bubble, like your own personal, you know. Yeah. But back then it was like weird. Maybe just because I went to college at Emerson, but it felt like
no. Pitchfork, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, how sad were you when you heard Pee Wee Herman died?
I was a little bummed, but not. That was not one that hit me that hard.
Really?
I would say, yeah, because I never watched Pee Wee that much growing up. I respected him, and I loved Pee Wee's Big Adventure. It was a bummer for sure, but I wasn't like. It wasn't one I like thought to do a post about. I was like, obviously he meant a little more to other people than me. My mom never let me watch him when I was a kid because she always thought he was creepy.
Okay. Yeah, on the basis of nothing, I thought that you would be a big Pee Wee Herman guy.
No, I think Pee Wee's first a little older than us. But were you a big fan?
It was big in my house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We
Interesting.
were really into Large Marge from the movie. And
the movie is great.
Yeah, the movie's great.
I actually think I only watched it in probably like 10 years ago, but that's old enough to like kind of but I thought it was great. It's a great movie, and I think he's super talented. I always really liked him.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a big childhood one for me.
Okay.
I was more of a Life with Louie guy.
Did you hear about? Did you watch Euphoria?
I haven't watched Euphoria, but I know that kid died. Angus.
I can't believe you haven't watched Euphoria. I'm completely misreading you,
I know.
Robbie.
I watched The Idol, but I didn't watch Euphoria.
That's funny. I think I'm gonna watch The Idol. Just
it's
to
not
be like,
bad.
What are people talking about?
It's fun. It's just trashy. It's just like expensive trash. But if you like that, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's not significantly worse than Euphoria. I think people just hate that guy.
Okay.
So the knives are out.
Sam Levinson or whatever.
And The Weeknd isn't the best actor, but it's like.
I think The Weeknd legitimately hates women. I get that vibe.
Oh, yeah?
I get that vibe.
I could see that.
You know? I mean, his fucking songs are so good, but like, damn. Like, I remember hearing about the song The Knowing, about how it's like, he found out his girl cheated, so he went and fucked some girl and then had her suck his dick.
Oh, God.
Like, that's what the basis of The Knowing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah.
You know what the Macarena is about?
No.
Some guy, so it's about... If you actually read the lyrics, I guess translate the lyrics, it's about a guy who goes off to war and his wife gets double teamed by his two best friends.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Look it up.
Hell yeah. The Macarena is about a guy that goes off to war and his wife gets double teamed.
Or his girlfriend. It's his wife or his girlfriend, I forgot. By his two best friends.
By his two best friends. Hey, Macarena.
Hey, Macarena.
Amazing. That's so funny. Okay, cool. The lore. Okay, so no real opinion on Angus Cloud passing away.
Sorry, R.I.P., but I wish I knew who he was. What happened? He killed himself?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Mental health crisis.
That's really sad.
Did Mac Miller's death hit you?
That was that was sad. You know, that was definitely sad. I remember where I was when he died, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was in New Orleans, I think. It was right when Eminem's Kamikaze album dropped, too. So that was a big white rapper week.
It was a big white rapper week.
Yeah, that one was tough because I like hip hop. I really liked some of his singles in college. Ironically, Donald Trump was a song that I really liked in college. And I did like him a lot, but then he died, and it was a bummer how he died too. And 30 is way too young.
Absolutely. Okay. Any thoughts on the latest Lizzo accusations?
Oh my God, the funniest part is all these people on Twitter who are so happy that Lizzo is going down. It's all these black guys being like, finally.
I don't know how she's going to come back from that.
It seems bad.
It seems bad.
I just read, I only read the headlines, and one of them was like, she made her dancers eat bananas from vaginas.
Yeah, okay. So... Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. Mm-hmm. Whenever I hear something come out about anybody, I'm like, who the fuck is complaining?
Right,
who
right.
couldn't take a compliment and move on? Like I'm a little bit of a cynic.
Me too.
About that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And for this one, I was like, just seeing some of the things, I'm like, oh, I think she was. I mean, I don't know, but I think she was creating an unsafe work environment.
I mean, 3 of the dancers. 3 is tough. If it was 1, you'd be like disgruntled employee.
Yes, yeah.
3. If 3 people say you did something, usually I think you did something.
Yeah.
That's like 1. If it's he said, she said, or in this case she said, she said.
Yeah.
It would be a different thing. I mean, I don't know. But then some other guy posted like I was Lizzo's videographer for like 2 weeks and I quit because she's like a total narcissist. So yeah. So that's the other thing. It's once other people that's when you know it's bad. So I don't know. The stories are wild and not stuff you would. I mean, I really just that banana thing is all I read. So that's a wild story.
So what I can deduce from that banana story, it seems like they were like out in Amsterdam and like it was like a weird like sex show.
Okay.
Sort of like have you ever heard of The Box?
No.
So The Box is like in London, it's in New York, I think it's in LA, it's all over. And like The Box is like a weird show that is sort of like, okay, we're gonna go see this weird sex show, and then it sort of devolves into like, or evolves into a guy like, you know, shoving a light bulb up his ass and then like eating his own shit. Like
now I like her again.
Yeah, like a really like bizarro show.
Right.
So I feel like with that banana thing, they probably were at like a sex show where like a person would put a banana in their vagina and then have somebody come and like eat eat the vagina out of the pussy. Like, that makes sense conceptually to me because it's probably just like a weird sex show.
Sure.
But if you're a boss, if you're Lizzo, if you're the head of this organization,
right,
and you are, having your dancers at a sex show and people are uncomfortable with it,
right.
I mean, who knows? This is all hearsay, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I think who knows? Like, maybe they just want some money, but she's honestly always just kind of like. She has a little narcissistic quality that I've kind of picked up on in like interviews and stuff. I actually like some of her songs, believe it or not.
I know. No, they're great. Some of them.
Yeah, some of the singles are really fun.
Yeah.
But I don't know. In interviews, you get a little tinge of narcissism with some of the things she says. So I could see that.
I always sort of felt like she's just always fighting up against people. Like any comedy act that mentions her.
Right.
Anything where she's being mentioned, they're always talking about her weight, and so she's always having to defend herself against that. And so while I agree with you, I always considered that to be the reason why.
Right. You kind of have to be like, you have to like kind of go double as hard. Like, I'm great against everyone coming out against you. Yeah, I totally get that.
So I was saying, Joe and I were talking about something fucking forever ago, and I said something, or we were talking about Lizzo, and Joe said something mean about like the way that she eats, and I was like, she's a vegan, right?
Wow.
And Joe goes, she tells you she's a vegan, and I was like, oh my God, she could be lying.
Yeah.
Like, it like hit me out of nowhere where it's like, oh fuck, man. Like, no, like celebrities present themselves in a certain way.
Oh yeah.
And they could be lying to us.
100%.
Like,
Yeah.
Which is like, obviously, but I just like couldn't. It was so funny when I'm like, oh fuck, she could be lying about being a vegan. I'm not saying
that's
she
what sucks. Going back to the fan thing is, you think you know a lot of people.
No, it's like scary to be a fan these days.
I know, and it's crazy how many people are just not what they present. It's like so many people are like frauds, and it's very scary. Yeah,
you can kind of like. I think Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance is
Joe Rogan's cousin.
Absolutely, Joe Rogan's cousin. Shout out to Newark, New Jersey, and that is what makes us us.
Yeah,
because only people like us would know that Gerard Way and Joe Rogan are cousins. And like inside of me are two wolves.
Yeah.
And I have Joe Rogan and I have Gerard Way and they're cousins.
Yeah. That'd be a tough one if he did something bad, but he seems too like nerdy.
I feel like for him, like he is as you would expect.
Yeah.
But then you go to any other band that I listened to in 2006 and it's like, wow.
Honestly,
okay.
Cosby, I was like, well, anyone could do anything. That was the one. Yeah.
I was a big Cosby
Me too. I love Cosby. Yeah. My dad, he's my dad's favorite comedian. He played his CDs for me.
It was my grandpa's favorite comedian.
Yeah.
And I think Cosby for a lot of us, based on like the older people in our lives, like that was a tough one.
Yeah, I think so. They called him America's dad, right?
And more like America's monster.
Yeah.
Like he is a fucking monster. I listened to a podcast called Chasing Cosby.
I listened to that too, yeah.
Wasn't it sick?
It was really sick.
It was demented. That man is crazy.
So yeah, he was the one where I was like, well, anyone could do anything.
Be a bad guy. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone could like. Because there's no one who I thought was a great guy who was worse than Cosby. Except for Harvey. I thought he was a great guy. I'm kidding. I was a huge fan. Me and my dad listened to all the Harvey Weinstein songs.
Gosh.
And Epstein. That was so sad. I'm just kidding.
So sad. I didn't know who Epstein was until he killed himself.
I remember when he got arrested, I was like, oh my God, they arrested Epstein. That's crazy. I was like early in on Epstein.
Oh, okay.
Not super early in, but early enough to
be like, wow.
When Me Too was dropping, I weirdly got really into Epstein for some reason. I forgot why. I read about Epstein when he first got arrested in like 2008. Mm-hmm. And I remember I read it on Fox News. They're like the only ones that reported it.
Yeah.
And the way they reported it was like guy who went on a plane with Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey gets arrested. And I was like, oh, that's weird. But then I didn't think about it for like 9 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it became like a big story again.
I realized I said I only knew about Epstein after he killed himself, which...
Yeah. Oh, right.
Come on.
Did he? Maybe he did. I don't know. Ghislaine's still kicking.
Ghislaine is still kicking. But But I don't know. I thought for sure they were going to say she died of COVID when they said she had COVID. I thought for sure. I'm like,
funny.
That's your death warrant.
That's hilarious. She was just they just saw her jogging around the prison. She's having a good time. They say she's the Karen. Apparently she's complaining about everything in there.
I mean, come on. Come on. Of course she is. Oh God, demented people. I've listened to a plethora of podcasts on that.
Oh, they're great. You see, there's a serial killer outside of an EDM place. Don't go to Brooklyn Mirage.
Oh my God!
Did you see that?
There's a second kid.
Yeah,
that got
killed. Threw in the same river.
Yeah. I know.
That place is a creepy. I've been reading on Reddit all about it. Apparently, there's people like pretending to be fake Uber drivers out there.
I moved into this apartment when I was 23 years old. Do you know how much wicked shit I've gotten into at Brooklyn Mirage?
Oh my God.
Because before I did comedy, I was a tornado.
Yeah.
Like a literal fucking tornado. And I would go to Brooklyn Mirage, and I'm very happy to still be alive because creepy shit happens outside of there.
What the hell? What's going on? Is it just in a bad area or something, or what?
It's Bushwick. I mean, that's crazy.
More
and more gentrified. I don't know.
One guy on Reddit said that he got tackled in right outside, and like the guy was strangling him, and someone out of an Uber like saved him, and they got a picture of the guy who was like strangling him.
Wow.
So it's probably that guy, whoever that guy is.
Yeah, who knows? Because it's the same place where
same place, and the two. They were both like young adult like twinks.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I know. When I saw that kid went missing and he was, leaving Brooklyn Mirage, I was like, oh, I don't think
when someone's reported missing, I hear it's like 80% time they're just
it's
dead.
Fucked up.
So sad.
Yeah, so sad.
Ugh.
I know. People need to be careful, especially Brooklyn Mirage. Like, it comes alive in the summertime. Yeah. Like, Mirage is crazy.
Really?
In the summer.
Is it it's just an EDM place?
Yeah, it's like you go to see you see like DJs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And
so I think probably predators just know people are on like ecstasy and shit, and it's like an unpoliced part of the city.
I'm not trying to paint a crazy picture.
I haven't been, so I don't know. I just reading about it.
The amount of I probably did leave there with a few serial killers at some time in my life.
It's scary because I've left concerts alone, kind of fucked up like 100, 200 times. I don't know.
I've left concerts alone. That's one thing. Leave concerts with another man.
Yeah,
like you pick up a guy, you pick up a chick, and then all of a sudden.
Well, the benefit of being a man is you think you're not going to get fucked with, but
I know
these were both guys who got. I mean, this is definitely male privilege talking, but it's scary. I don't know.
No, totally. Yeah. I mean, I think about it because, like I said before, how I kind of look at my younger brother as like a child. Like he constantly is leaving concerts like kind of fucked up,
right.
and I'm like always like texting me when you get home, that kind of thing.
You're a good sister.
I mean, it's just like it's so much anxiety. Yeah, that's crazy. Well. Hopefully they
catch us. I don't like these serial killers running around.
I know. It's kind of crazy, like being a serial killer in the year of our Lord 2023. Like, there's DNA evidence now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That means they'll probably catch him now. There's a second one, right? They're going to be, or I don't know.
Who, and then there will, there is the other side of it. Is like, is there a serial killer? Are these kids just like getting drunk and?
They were both thrown in the river and
like, did
killed
they get
outside
thrown
Brooklyn
in,
Mirage.
or did they fall in?
Well, the first guy they saw him on camera like running from something.
Okay.
So I think there is a guy killing him.
Okay. Because I had heard in Austin there were people being found in
and they're
the
just
lake.
thrown in the river. Yeah.
And it's like there's like a whole thing on TikTok of like people thinking that there is a murderer, and then there's the other side of TikTok being like, no, there's no murderer. These kids are drunk and like they, fall in.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Because
there's actually a big one in Boston called like the smiley face killer, but a lot of people don't think it's real.
I heard about that too.
So,
but I don't know.
So who knows?
I mean, they just caught the Gilgo Beach murderer.
Either way, it sounds like there's a lot of fucked up shit apparently going outside Brooklyn Mirage. So so stay safe out there.
Yeah, be careful, guys. Okay. We're going to play Finish the Sentence, and then I'm going to let you go.
Okay, cool. All right.
Okay.
Finish the podcast.
Yes, and then we'll finish the podcast. Okay, so I'm just going to say it, and then you finish it. These are going to be fast.
Let's go.
Finish the sentence. When I look at a photo of my younger self.
I see a fat kid.
Totally. Yeah. Same. Totally. If I could choose the way I'd die, I'd pick
overdose.
Ooh, fun.
And die in sleep. I don't want to be like gurgling.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a tough one about the overdose, though. You know,
I mean, other than dying of old age, and that's nice, right? Like,
yeah,
because then you're like, I'm ready.
That goes
let's go.
Without saying.
Yeah, but if it's a shocking death,
yeah,
I would do overdose because at least you're high and probably don't even know what the fuck's going on.
I feel like, speaking of overdose, I would intentionally want the Fent in the Coke.
That's
right.
I don't know because it's too quick. You don't get high enough.
Oh,
I don't know.
But too quick is good.
That's true. I also don't want to overdose, so that also
no.
But
we're saying if you had to pick,
right? If you had to pick, sure.
I'm terrified. The Fent in the Coke.
Honestly, yeah.
Scary. The
or imploded on a sub.
Imploded on a sub. Yes. When you're rich, you have no problems.
Yeah.
You get imploded on a sub.
Apparently, it's quick, but also
it is completely quick.
But I think they had like 20 minutes of terror.
No.
Yeah.
No. Where'd you hear that?
They found there was like the transcript leaked of like the people they were talking to or something like that.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I would hope that we're just like la 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 la. Can't wait till we see the Titanic.
I think there's a debate if it's real or not, but it sounds legit to me, and that's
Oh God, I mean, go figure. But when I first heard about that, and I didn't know that implosion was like probably the definite thing that would have happened, I literally thought there were just people being like, "Fuck, we got to get found before." Yeah,
the transcript I saw was like they kept trying to go up and they couldn't go up, like because their like thrusters failed or some shit.
Oh God, that's hell.
I don't know the official nomenclature, but I think there was like moments where they like saw the sub like starting to crush and they realized that they were fucked, and then it was just like.
Well, at least when it happened, it was just
it's really quick.
Yeah.
You're just dead.
All right, relax. I know the sub implosion is an upsetting thing to talk about. Okay. Something I would like to change about the way I deal with conflict.
Ooh, I'm too much of a people pleaser.
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah.
I don't stand up for myself enough. And then I blow my top when I get really mad. So
and then people are like, "Why are you freaking out?"
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not fair to other people.
Yep. And not to yourself.
Or myself.
Yep.
It's a shitty way to go about it.
Okay. A mistake I'll never make again.
Oh, that's a great question. Doing a podcast with Joe Gorman. Just kidding.
Being in a relationship with Joe Gorman.
A mistake I'll never make again. Oh, man. I feel like I have a lot, actually. Fuck. But I'm all blanking. I guess I don't learn anything.
No, I mean, it's kind of hard to go through the Rolodex. A mistake I'll never make again. Let me think. Because, like, I feel like I've made mistakes where I'm like, I'm never going to do that again.
Right,
and then I do it again.
I know.
You know?
I know, yeah. I kind of get caught in a cycle. Oh, here's a funny one that I will never make again. It kind of goes with the whole theme. I recently went to the movies. And I got what I do is I always get an extra large drink, and I always get like the Diet Powerade, just like hydrate, or like soda or Diet Coke.
Yep.
And I accidentally got the regular root beer with all the calories. I didn't realize I got it, and I drank the whole thing, and then I realized after that I got it. I was like, I just drank 1,000 calories and didn't enjoy a second of it. Honestly, I wasn't into it. And I spent the whole night, even though I like drink 1,000 calories a night with alcohol.
I know, right?
But I was like, I could have been drunk.
I know, yeah.
So I was like, I literally was beating myself up about that so bad. And I'm like, this is never happening again.
Totally. But here's the thing. It was a mistake.
Yeah. It was I mean, that's the thing. It was a mistake. And I have a lot. I'm sure I have a lot of real ones, but I'm just like, I'm just blanking on.
No,
and
totally.
Probably issues I have to work on in therapy.
Yeah.
But the real problems are actually my real problems are ones that I kind of keep like falling into, right? Like that not buying an extra large soda is one that I can be like, all right, well, that was so stupid, and the consequences were so bad. And it's very easy not to make that mistake ever again. Whereas with a lot of my other mistakes, I feel like it's just bad habits and stuff that I can't confidently say I'll never make again. You know?
Totally. Okay, last one.
You know, I'd love to say dating a comedian.
Please.
100% is going to happen again.
Absolutely. You're only human.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last one. If I could whisper something in the ear of my younger self, I would say...
Ooh, lose some weight, fatty.
I knew you were going to say that. You're never going to get laid if you don't lose weight.
Honestly, that's not bad. Yeah, I don't know. Because you want to say, like, be confident, but you can't just tell someone to be confident. They kind of, like, got to get it themselves or something.
Totally.
Oh, you know what? I would tell them to do the plays earlier.
Because that's a good one.
I could have done that and would have done that, but I think I was just, like, a little, I don't know, probably afraid, but I think I was just lazy, frankly.
Yeah, totally.
But they were a good time. And I think my everything about me got a lot better after I was in plays and stuff.
Yeah, you found your voice.
Yeah, and I was more confident.
Yeah.
And I was like doing stuff after school.
Totally. Did your sister do plays?
I think she did one.
Okay, so it wasn't her thing.
No, but she's much more successful. I think being a creative person is actually bad.
Yeah, I mean, it can be
because she's about to she's finish business school and is about to take a big consulting job and shit. So she's doing great. I'm kind of
yeah, like you're trying to be an artist.
I'm trying to do bar shows and
yeah,
working
totally.
at an escape room.
Totally. But is she into sports or anything?
Yeah, she played soccer and she's actually very athletic.
Oh, okay.
So she was good. She was
yeah.
She didn't need to do plays. I think she did one when I was doing really good at plays.
Yeah.
Just to be maybe I could try that, and it was just not her thing.
Right. Well, Robbie, you were a wonderful guest.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Great questions.
Thank you. I like to be prepared.
Yeah, it influenced me to take notes for my podcast in a couple days.
I had Joe on a week or two ago, and I was like, "It's Joe. I don't need to do prep." I was floundering. I'm just somebody that I need notes.
No, it's good, and it's and if you don't need them, then that's great, right?
Right. Well, really awesome. Where can people find you? You have a very exciting new podcast.
Yeah.
Which is very funny. I listened to the episode with Joe and Gio and Derek, and I was laughing loud.
Awesome.
Try That in a Small Town is a hit in this house.
I have heard.
And I was crying. Everybody was so funny going around talking about it.
Oh, I might clip that. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I'm glad. Thank you for listening.
You totally should.
Yeah, it's really fun, and I'm having a great time doing it. So check it out.
It's called
What About Rob?
What About Rob?
So yeah,
perfect name.
Awesome.
Perfect name. Amazing. And
at Robbie Goodwin on social media.
Okay, amazing. Well, guys, until next week, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.